my kids in Essentials are not quite following with my set expectations, I usually will kind of stop the class, even if it's in the middle of a lesson or something, say, why was that inappropriate? And really kind of process through each of those steps. So let's go through and see, why was that inappropriate? Why did calling somebody across the room, was that not okay? How did that make someone else feel? Kind of going through that interpersonal relationship and trying to figure out why that was not an acceptable thing to do. If it was more in private, something I can always do is just kind of get their perspective on things. You know, what's going on? Why was that something that you went to when, you know, instead of calmly saying to the teacher, I don't get this, you just threw your paper. What was that about? Something going on, trying to get their perspective on things and really trying to process through what is it that caused them to act in that way? What's the function of that behavior?
It started teacher-led, where I explicitly explained what everything was. I consistently modeled for it at every piece. But soon enough, that transition happened and it became student-led, where whoever my helper of the day was, they're just like the mini teacher, if you will, their job was to help remind as well. So throughout the day, you might have one of the kids in the classroom going, oh, our participation right now is that we are answering and asking questions, not talking to our partner.
Having a positive relationship is really important to students so that when you do need to correct something, they know that you love them, you care about them, and that you're trying to help them become the best person they can be and be successful.
In PE, most of the time, almost all the time, we use music. Anytime music's playing, I always tell the kids that's their time. Then they're moving, they're active, they're talking, they're doing the things. Whenever the music ends or it stops, that's my time, that's when they're quiet. I also use a wireless mic, so if I need to use like a one word, just like a freeze, that's if they don't take the first cue, then that's their second cue in order to be listening.
Whenever I'm talking about a tough kid, I always like to find the behavior that I think is actually the most problem, and that's the one I'm going to correct. So if Billy is having a really hard time staying on task, I'm really just going to focus on that behavior, and that's the one that I'm going to correct most frequently. And when it happens, I'm correcting it immediately, I'm correcting it with as little language as I possibly can, and I'm using it in a very even tone, even body language. So, Johnny, back on task. And then rewarding that behavior when he does get back on task. Great job getting back on task. Let's keep working for whatever kind of incentive that you've got going on. And I think it's really so important that the less language we use as adults, the better off a kid's going to be. Kids can really focus in on that negativity, and then you engage in that power struggle, and that's the worst place you can ever get with a kid because you've lost.